Yes, my friends, July is coming to a close. The training camp atmosphere is already giving us a taste of the upcoming season, and we have some news to share with you. We need to talk about Myles Garrett and how he could potentially bring his full talent to the Rams. I also need to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, you heard that right. Could another surprise be in store for the Rams? I'll tell you all about it right now. But before we go on, make sure you've hit that like button. But only do it if you've been a Rams fan for over 22 years. Now tell me, who should be the Rams' official backup quarterback? Do you think it would be a good move for the Rams to bring Jimmy Garoppolo back? Let me know in the comments below. Many believed he was on the verge of retirement, but there's something in the air that you need to know. You know that Jimmy Garoppolo spent the last 2 seasons backing up Matthew Stafford, bringing veteran experience and a deep understanding of Sean McVay's offensive system. Earlier this offseason, reports surfaced that Garoppolo had considered retiring. Now, according to recent information, he is open to an NFL comeback, but only if the situation is right for him. This specific detail sparked immediate discussion among Rams fans, as many wondered if Los Angeles could once again be his destination. The phrase, right situation, is significant because it suggests Garoppolo is looking for something more than just another backup role. Teams across the league generally believe they already have their starters set, making opportunities scarce. Consequently, there is speculation that Garoppolo might simply wait for an injury to open up a spot on a roster during the season, rather than immediately committing to a team where he knows he'll spend the year in the shadow of an established starter. That naturally leads back to the Rams. Earlier in the offseason, Sean McVay openly admitted that he would have welcomed Garoppolo back. At the time, he explained that the team still needed another quarterback in the room and mentioned both Jimmy Garoppolo and Kirk Cousins as players he respected and would have liked to have. Those comments came before the draft, and before the Rams made significant decisions about the future of their quarterback room. Today, however, the situation looks very different. Instead of focusing on bringing back another veteran, the Rams now appear to be fully invested in developing their younger quarterbacks. While Garoppolo's experience cannot be questioned, the organization seems determined to give Ty Simpson and Stetson Bennett every opportunity to prove they belong behind Matthew Stafford. Recently, some reports suggested that neither Ty Simpson nor Stetson Bennett had clearly separated themselves in the battle for the backup quarterback position. Those observations came after limited open practice sessions where both quarterbacks worked through basic passing drills. According to those reports, neither quarterback consistently stood out, with Bennett throwing an interception during one drill and Simpson missing on some deeper throws. For some fans, those reports immediately created concern. Others even wondered whether the Rams now needed to bring Garoppolo back because the young quarterbacks had failed to impress. But there is another way to view the situation. The observations being discussed came from only a handful of practice sessions. Sean McVay himself has described this portion of the offseason as not being real football. Without full-speed practices, pads, preseason games, and live competition, drawing major conclusions becomes extremely difficult. Training camp and preseason have always been the true measuring stick, especially for backup quarterbacks competing for roster spots. The Rams know that Matthew Stafford will likely receive scheduled rest days during training camp. Those days will create valuable opportunities for both Bennett and Simpson to receive meaningful repetitions against stronger competition. That is where this battle truly begins, not during early off-season workouts. There is also an important difference between the two young quarterbacks. Stetson Bennett has spent considerably more time inside Sean McVay's offensive system, giving him familiarity that naturally helps during off-season practices. Ty Simpson, meanwhile, is still learning the offense while adjusting to life in the NFL. Comparing them after only a few practices ignores the fact that one player has significantly more experience operating within the same system. Sean McVay's own comments provide perhaps the strongest indication of where the organization stands. Speaking about Stetson Bennett, McVay praised the quarterback's growth, saying he has earned the confidence of his teammates while doing a much better job commanding the huddle. He also complimented Bennett's recent progress, particularly with his decision-making and overall development over the last several weeks. The coaching staff has also spoken positively about Ty Simpson. Reports indicate that Simpson has embraced the opportunity to learn from Matthew Stafford, Bennett, and the Rams coaching staff. Even more importantly, coaches have noticed the extra work he continues to put in outside of normal practice hours, arriving early and staying late to improve every aspect of his game. Those are exactly the qualities teams hope to see from young quarterbacks trying to establish themselves. Perhaps the biggest clue about the Rams' plans came when Sean McVay was recently asked directly whether the team was considering adding another veteran quarterback. His answer was simple. He said bringing in another veteran was not something the Rams had really discussed at this point. While he refused to completely rule it out, he made it clear that it was not an active conversation inside the organization. That statement says a great deal. If the Rams truly believed their quarterback room was incomplete, discussions about veteran additions would likely be happening already. Instead, McVay's comments suggest confidence in allowing the current competition to play out naturally. That confidence also challenges another theory that has recently gained attention. Some fans have argued that Ty Simpson may never have become a Ram if Jimmy Garoppolo had never considered retirement. The idea is that Garoppolo's uncertain future forced Los Angeles to draft another quarterback earlier than originally planned. Based on everything available, that argument becomes difficult to support. Reports from earlier in the year indicate the Rams had identified Ty Simpson as a player they wanted long before Garoppolo's retirement discussions became public. According to reporting referenced in the discussion, the organization had already made its intentions known months before the draft, suggesting Simpson had been part of their long-term planning all along. If that timeline is accurate, then Garoppolo's future had little influence over the Rams selecting Simpson. Instead, it appears Los Angeles entered the draft already committed to adding its quarterback of the future, regardless of what happened with its veteran backup. That changes the conversation entirely. Rather than asking whether Jimmy Garoppolo should return, the bigger question becomes whether the Rams should fully commit to developing their young quarterbacks instead of delaying that process with another veteran. There are certainly advantages to having someone like Garoppolo in the building. His experience, professionalism, and understanding of McVay's offense make him one of the league's more valuable backup quarterbacks. If Stafford were forced to miss time, Garoppolo's experience would provide stability. At the same time, every snap given to a veteran backup is one less opportunity for Bennett or Simpson to continue developing. The Rams appear to understand that balance. Matthew Stafford remains the unquestioned starter, but the franchise also knows it must prepare for the future. Building young quarterbacks requires patience, repetition, and meaningful game experience whenever possible. Training camp and preseason will now become incredibly important for both Bennett and Simpson. Every practice, every drive, every preseason snap will provide new evidence about who deserves to become Stafford's primary backup entering the regular season. For Bennett, this represents another opportunity to show how much progress he has made since joining the organization. Coaches have already acknowledged improvements in leadership, confidence, and execution. The next challenge is proving that growth carries over into live football situations. For Simpson, the focus will be on continuing his adjustment to the NFL, while showing why the Rams believed he was worth investing in. Coaches already appreciate his work ethic and willingness to learn. Now comes the opportunity to demonstrate those improvements on the field. Until those games are played, declaring either quarterback the clear winner would be premature. That is exactly why Sean McVay's patience matters. Instead of rushing toward another veteran solution, the Rams appear comfortable allowing the competition to develop naturally. That approach may ultimately reveal whether one of these young quarterbacks is ready for a much larger role than many expected. Jimmy Garoppolo's future remains uncertain. He may eventually return to the NFL if the right opportunity presents itself. Whether that opportunity comes in Los Angeles or somewhere else remains impossible to know today. What is becoming increasingly clear, however, is that the Rams seem prepared to move forward with the quarterbacks already inside their building. The coaching staff continues praising both Bennett and Simpson. The organization is allowing the competition to unfold. Most importantly, there is no indication that adding another veteran is an immediate priority. That makes the coming weeks some of the most important of the entire offseason. Fans will finally get to see these young quarterbacks compete under real football conditions instead of off-season drills. Every throw, every decision, and every drive will help shape the depth chart behind Matthew Stafford. The Rams have trusted their evaluation process before, and once again they appear willing to let that process play out instead of reacting to outside speculation. Whether that ultimately leads to Stetson Bennett winning the job, Ty Simpson emerging as the long-term answer, or another unexpected twist remains to be seen. One thing is certain: this quarterback competition is far from finished, and the next stage will tell us much more than any off-season practice ever could. Now the question belongs to every Rams fan. If you were making the decision today, would you bring Jimmy Garoppolo back for another season, or would you trust the future of the backup quarterback position to Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson? Share your thoughts, because this debate is only getting started, and every Rams fan has a strong opinion about how this story should end.